waiting for him. Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order with the pledge, and then I would like everybody to remain standing for a moment of silence after the pledge for the Colorado victims. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Stand right up against it. All right. First on our agenda tonight, if Mr. Chase could come forward, please. The Board of Selectmen would like to recognize your 30 years of service to the town of Templeton, and thank you for all the work you do, and we appreciate your service. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, at this time also, Citizens for Templeton would like to present Bud with a token of our appreciation for 30 years of service. I wish it was a check for a new loader, but thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mark wants a picture of it too.
I heard that, I'm sorry, Mark, go ahead. I heard this was coming tonight, and they said it was a BMW convertible.
Yeah, you gotta find it. It's hide and seek.
I'm not sure. Oh, they're the keys.
Yeah, you can have that one.
It's been an honor, and I'm not ready to retire yet, so maybe some more.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, since we have two members that are on the personnel board, I would like to take it in guts saying that they may end up considering putting something in the personnel policy for recognizing all employees for longevity over a period of time.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Okay, we have a long agenda tonight, so I'd like to try to stay on topic as much as we can because I'd like to get out of here at a reasonable hour. First up, we have AECom, I believe Nick Giardini, and whoever, Bud's probably going to come up. I would assume this is for the Bolivar Road project to discuss the amendment that we saw at our last meeting. Good evening.
You all right?
That's the trick.
Is it?
Are they doubles?
No.
You all right? You need another chair.
Yeah, can somebody get him another chair?
Don't look much better.
All right. The reason why that one's no better. The reason why we had Bud ask you to be here tonight was at our last meeting, we received an amendment to the contract asking for up to an additional, was it $150,000, I want to say? $131,000. And so we're just wondering what all this extra money is for, and if you can explain it to us, that would be wonderful.
Sure. What I did was I broke it down by task, and basically the first four tasks are task number one was the landscape design plans, which Mass DOT had requested to be included in this project. So we had a fee of up to $5,000 for that. The Mass DOT contract review is the next step. Now that the PS&E plans have been submitted, There's going to be a quick review to make sure everything was taken care of, and any final tweaks to the plan specs or estimates will be taken care of with this amount, with this upset limit of $5,000 as well. The next step is the bid services. The project will then be advertised, and if there's any questions during the whole bid process, again, these are very common as far as the progression of the plan through these phases. And the fourth task in those top four is once the contractor is selected, that's the task to attend the kickoff meeting for the contractor to make sure he has the further questions and get it going. Tasks numbers 5, 6, and 7 were estimates. We had estimated that we'd be out in the field twice a month to make sure the plans are progressing. This, again, like I said, is an estimate. We had figured that the upset for that was about $40,000 over the course of 18 months. That was 36 field visits. That could come down to notes back oversee the project, and it's really dependent on who Mass DOT puts on the job as far as the resident. Some projects you get a good resident and you don't get a phone call and everything goes smoothly. Some projects you don't. You get a lot of phone calls. We've been on both sides of those. Task 6, we will see some shop drawings. I had estimated about 25. That's kind of on the high side, I do agree, but that comes out to about 20,000. Same thing for responding to requests for information. Again, we had estimated that there would be about 50 RFIs throughout the course of the project, and again, that's an upset limit, and we had estimated about 30,000 for that. At the very end of the job, we will be required to go out there to perform a punch list. Anybody who's involved in the job to make sure it's constructed as per plan and come up with a list of items that need to be addressed by the contractor before he does leave the town. And the final task was preparing the red line drawings. And that's basically just taking whatever minor revisions the contractor may make throughout the course of the construction and update Mylar plan set with the official as-built drawings for file. That's really about it. We also included 11,000 AECs, which again might be a little bit on the high side, but that does include traveling, equipment, and printing costs for the most part.
Do you have anything you want to add first before I have the board?
Okay, as Nick stated, once the project starts, I'm going to be on the project constantly watching. So as far as the number of their visits needed, will be on a call basis. If I can't handle the call, work it out with the contractor, then, and the town needs to seek services from AECom, then we'll call them at that point. As far as, I know I realized on Amendment 6 when he talked about that there will be some field changes, so yes, there will need to be some changes on the print for the as-built when it's finally done, so we can expect that. That's with every project. I had, as I had talked to the board previously, when I had seen the amount that they were requesting, it was going to put the project over $500,000. The exact number I don't have it with me tonight, but maybe I do. But however, as I've been stating right along, we put a lot of money into this project for a basic, simple project, as I call it. I mean, all our infrastructure's in. It's a matter of a sidewalk from Ballville to Templeton, and I was a little bit concerned about. I was a lot concerned about additional money that we're putting into the project. I know we had some problems in the past, and AECom had some problems with staffing in the past, and I'm just concerned about the amount of money that we put into this project, and that's why I brought it before the board and suggested that AECom come tonight and explain it, perhaps. I'm not sure any more detail or what to the point of where we're at. met today to get the final phase to keep, to satisfy Mass DOT to get this project out to bid. We're on the 11th hour now, and we've got a lot of legwork to do between now and August 13th, I think it is, to get this so that we don't lose our federal funding. We are close to losing our federal funding, and it's just my opinion that you know, possibly due to some design errors and that where we're at right now, and we're really having to jump through some serious hoops to get this thing done.
Is that because of state or federal or just local?
Well, I think it's, in my opinion, I think it's a little shared responsibility, possibly because of the problems we had with engineering the project, and also with Mass DOT, having to follow all the state and federal regulations because we're using federal money, so it kind of opens up a different window for everything that's got to be designed into the project. So I know since Nick has become our project manager, a lot of things have been expedited, and I know we all want to chase back history, but we're to the point right now because of, you know, some problems that we had.
Yeah, I think,
Go ahead.
I think part of the problem is that it took such a long time for us to get this project done because we're using Chapter 90 money for the engineering. So we would do so much for 25%, 50%, 75%. And right now, we've committed over $500,000 over the years from Chapter 90 money to get this project engineered. And if we do not, meet the deadline for Mass DOT of August 13th of getting the right-of-ways and the easements, then the project will not be on the TIP list and won't be funded. So I would like to make a motion that we fund this, what the heck, is an amendment to the contract, Amendment 7, up to the amount of $131,200, contingent upon the award of the federal funding, the TIP funding.
Second.
Okay. Any questions by anybody for either Bud or AECom? Go ahead.
But how many properties are still not signed yet?
Actually, I think Jeff can give us an
There's,
update.
I believe, 23. Some came in today,
Oh, good.
so 23.
Jeff was at the meeting, it's 23.
As of this moment, and we might get a couple more, I think would be the most, so we're going to have to do takings on 20 or 21 properties. Taking either of rights or of permanency. So.
Any other questions about this service contract amendment or the scope of the work to be done in it? Do we know if we're any further along in finding out if they're just going to coat it or if we're going to get the full refurbish of the road areas?
At this point, I believe it's going to be a cold plain and overlay
For the whole thing?
for the whole project. Unless, Nick, am I?
No, that's correct. There's an inch and 3/4 will be taken down and an inch and 3/4 will be put back.
But no infrastructure work at all? That's unfortunate. Because originally the whole idea was that at least the Baldwinville section, you know, from the school, I think, up to the center isn't as bad because they were just done recently. But from the school towards Baldwinville Center.
Well, what I'm concerned about that, Mr. Chair, is that once the milling machine comes in and shaves off an inch and 3/4, they're going to get down to the binder coat, which is really the material that was in failure.
Yeah.
And so I'm talking with Nick about this, and I mean, I expressed it. Right now, you're right on Baldwinville Road, and it seems to be okay. It's got some cracks that have developed over the last 5 years, you know, slowly showing up again. But that's just an indication of what's failed down below. So I know we wrote our letters, we sent them off to Mass DOT. I'm still not happy, and to be honest with you, after the project's all said and done and paid, and the center line's painted again, I would not want to put my name on that guarantee. And I hope the town doesn't hold me responsible that the project moved forward and just did a cold plain and overlay. I don't believe that's the way this road should have been rebuilt. It wasn't scoped to be full depth, the whole thing, but there were certain areas that needed to be addressed. And if it continues to move forward, and I believe it will move forward that way, I feel it's in our best interest to write letters stating that this is not the direction we want to go. It's up to the board to do what they want. And as far as I know, Julie made a motion for the 131-200.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to be completely committed at this time. Talking with Nick, this will be phases, so the project's not going to start until next year, so typically you don't have to commit. You want to put a project request in for the 131-2 now. If you're voting to support that number, that amendment, be up to that, but we can do that in phases as it's needed. Is that correct?
Just one question. Have we heard, Jeff or Bud, anybody, have we heard back from anybody that we sent letters of concern to, Mass DOT, District 2 engineers, Senator Brewer, anybody?
I have.
Nothing direct. The right-of-way manager who came out on Friday alluded to the fact that they are going to do their best at MassDOT to assist us in managing this project, making it happen, but was pretty clear that it's their intention to just do, as has been said here, a cold plain and an overlay, and not do any full-depth engineering at any point on the road. And that's because of the trickle-down of federal money being squeezed, which then squeezes the state, and they're trying to do more projects rather than fewer, knowing that it'll get harder and not easier going forward. So they're just squeezing out as much as they can, and they felt this was the appropriate engineering approach. We disagree.
I would like to send a second letter or call Senator Brewer and people again, because I noticed on the transportation bill, Senator Brewer got $1.5 million inserted for water main replacement in the town of Berwick. So there's obviously money out there if you have someone with the horsepower to push it. So I would hope we don't give up trying to get the drainage work and stuff that needs to be done on the sections that do in fact need it.
Yeah, the lower end.
Because there's no sense doing this road half-ass and come back and have to spend all this money, down the road 5, 6, 8 years again.
And through you, Mr. Chair, Nick, if you could elaborate a little bit about when we had this conversation, because they changed some things within the plan to comply with the MassDOT's request. Mm-hmm. What would happen to this project and/or the cost between its relationship between the town and AECon if we didn't follow this rule? In other words, you changed it now to a cold plain and overlay. Are the other plans, because what I'm concerned about is, if the project went out to bid, we'll say, and times are tough and contractors are hungry, it's going to come in a low number. If they've all got so much work, it's going to come in at a high number. That's just the way it works. If this project did bid out low and would allow us to do what we had initially proposed, would the plans that we already paid for be ready to go?
Could we do it as an ad alternate?
No. We do it as now, only if the plans are not ready to go, they would have to be revamped and submitted as a change order to the contractor, and that too would have to be approved through the Mass DOT system. So both plans are started like at the level, have to be revamped or engineered to get to where they were before.
So that's my question. I wanted to bring it up. Bottom line is we're really locked where we are right now. Either we get a full plan overlay and a sidewalk, or we're not going to get anything. And
we're wasting-
unfortunately, we're not going to get the product that we're looking for.
As Jeff was saying, I'm just concerned of spending all this money, getting it done, and then, having more water main breaks in that area, that lower section of Boulder Road, because that infrastructure underneath really needs to be
Okay,
fixed.
set the record straight, regardless of how we're rebuilding the road, water mains were never in this plan.
They would,
Never in this plan to rebuild. State and federal don't fund water main replacement. That would have been up to the utility to do so.
Okay.
It was brought up in the early parts of this project, but the water department had no funds to replace 19,000 feet of water main.
I would just add, I believe the state money is there because $1.5 million and a $1.8 billion transportation bill at the State House has $1.5 million in it for water main replacement in the town of Barrett. It's an earmark that was placed there by Senator Brewer. So I would say there is state money for water main replacement. It's just you have to have the horsepower in the State House to get it.
I'm just echoing what I heard.
That's
some years ago
political
when we started
favoritism,
this
but
project.
yes. But apparently, it can't happen because it is happening.
And it is possible that we will have, well, actually, not possible, it will happen. There will be water breaks on Baltimore Road from time to time, in the future. There's nothing we can do about that.
Diana?
It just seems like once again, here we are in Templeton, putting a Band-Aid on the issue.
Put what?
A Band-Aid on the boy. We're not fixing it, and we're just...
All right. Any other questions from the board? So we'll take a vote on the proposed amendment. Pat?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
And Julie?
Yes.
Now, do we need to do a vote also, Jeff, on the other issues for this project tonight?
Not tonight. That would be the 13th. On August the 13th, we will have a complete package
Okay.
with all the takings. You have to vote the entire project, all of the takings, and kind of wrap it up with a big vote. So we
Oh,
will
okay.
definitely need...
I thought they had to be done by then.
No, that's when we will do them, and they will be filed with Mass DOT the next day,
Okay.
and at the registry the 15th.
Okay.
So that's our ultimate drop dead date is our next meeting here.
Okay. Yes, Kurt?
I ask a question before you vote on it. I have a question. We were under the impression not so long ago, we were waiting for this project to go 50%, 75%, 100%, okay, we're all done, plans are done. Under what contract and was that fulfilled versus this extra $131,200? It's not personal, it's just our money once again. Is ACON been under, is this company just been under open ticket contract? It's like we feel we might have to do some more, so we're gonna bill you some more? Or was this not done through the procurement act saying it was X amount of dollars to handle this whole project? Question, can somebody answer that?
I can't.
I think this is, yeah.
I'd like to hear that.
I don't remember.
Okay. Yep.
My name is Nick Marino. The contract that we have with the town, and with basically every other town for similar projects, usually outlines the design efforts first, because it's difficult during design, projects will change, or get bigger, smaller, whatever. The construction phase services, we usually come to the end of design and say, okay, in your case, Bud is here, he's going to be more involved. Other projects, we have to be out there even more. It's difficult, 3 or 4 years ago, to sit down and say how much construction phase is going to be. So we usually go first through design, so we know exactly what the design is, and we can put a better number, clearer number on construction.
Chris Reed?
Yep.
So this contract is just to see if we get funded, and if it moves forward?
Yes, it will only, this is approval upon getting the funding from the state and federal government.
Okay, Mike, I have one other question.
Sure.
Sorry. But you had stated you're gonna be on this job full time. My question is, what the hell we pay the engineers for? It's not a town project, it's a state, federally funded through the state, hire the engineers, we're hiring these people to supervise it. Why is Bud, you stated you're gonna be there full time? I wanna know why. How many other miles of road we got in this town? We should probably be hopefully spending a little time on. It's an 18-month project. What he just said, the charge is $40,000 to come up twice a month. I don't know, is that in the contract that the superintendent, I won't pick Bud personally, but is that, are we supplying a person to be there full-time? Who are we looking out for? This, are we paying them to look out for us? Or are we paying Bud to look out for them, to look out for us?
But when I stated that I'm going to be on the project all the time, I didn't mean 40 hours a week. I'm here 40 hours a week, sometimes more than that. And on my day-to-day operations, I will be visiting the project. MassDOT will have an engineer and inspector, or at least one, maybe more, but there'll be one there that I'll directly be working with him if any unforeseen problems. Now, since the project's not scoped for a full depth, so we're not going to be excavating and possibly disturbing any existing drainage, it's going to be a lot of surface work. So I'm going to be there to watch that. Problems with the sidewalk going in by residential areas, answering residential complaints as to having our engineers and paying them a fee to come up here to answer something that I can answer and work out with the problem. Similar to what I did on Dudley Road, we had the same thing there. We had a different firm. SCA was our engineers at that point in time, but I was on the job visiting it multiple times a day if needed, and or we have cell phones, so they call me if they have a problem. That's what I meant about it, as far as not having to pay our engineers to come up to answer a question that I can answer. If it's something I can't answer, then I'm going to rely on the people that we hire. I'm looking to do it to save money. That's
Any other questions? No? Thank you, gentlemen. Real quick.
The gifts that we got tonight is from the citizens of Templeton.
You said
I
that.
want to show you that we do appreciate you. It's not always an easy job. For 30 years, some people will last 30 years. So we do appreciate the work you've done, and we know that. Okay?
I appreciate it, Jessica.
You're welcome.
We have like a minute and a half before the hearing starts, so we can't really discuss anything else in that time.
We could, well, if we go out of order and discuss that item of new business highlighted. It's out of order, that's all.
Oh, this?
That's going to take more than a minute.
More, never mind. We do want to be kind of,
We just wait, we got 1 minute to wait before the poll hearings, then they have to start on time, so I don't want to start discussing something else that we'll have to just stop. I saw it. Is Tom Barry even here?
Yeah, you see it.
Okay. All right. So if I could have Tom Barry come up, and I guess Chief Whitaker might be coming up. I don't know.
Should I see it?
Guys, he's in the back.
Sorry, come in.
Give me like 30 seconds and we'll open the hearing.
I don't think he heard you.
I don't know if he has. Okay, we're going to open the poll hearing for the South Road poll that the police would like installed. If you want to just go through it real quick. Chief, did you want to come up? You're going to stay back there. You didn't have to. I don't have much to do with the poll. You were very comfy. Quiet, please.
The police department approached us,
Quiet, please. He's doing the best he can.
No mics.
No, not in this building.
the police department approached the light department about moving the school zone lights from the East Templeton school, which no longer being used, asked if we could use them for the Templeton Center School. In order to do that, we need to install a pole, because there are no poles on that side of the street. On the school side of the ice cream barn, just a pole mounted school zone light, similar to what's on Baltimore Road. And it's necessary if we want to get the school zone lights there.
And the abutters were notified of this hearing tonight? Are there any abutters here that wish to speak on this? Are there any board members that have questions or concerns?
I just have a couple.
Go ahead.
My first question would be, why all of a sudden do we need lights installed there now, since we've gone, I don't know, I don't think there's been any there for a while, because first of all, I don't think you really can.
It's the 20-mile-an-hour flashing light that we're going to put in there that are currently on Patriots Road in East Templeton. So it's just a cost of moving. And why? Because we repaved the road, we put a sidewalk in, the road's narrower, we get a lot of traffic through that area, and we've got some complaints, and we just thought it was a good idea.
Are we going to put them on Wellington Road too?
On Wellington Road?
The backside of the
school?
school?
The school zone there. The school zone by law ends on the school property line. So.
Well, the school property line, doesn't it go over to Wellington Road?
Well, I guess we could put them on Wellington Road if we want to buy them. These are we already own, and we're just going to move them. We don't really, I don't foresee, on the backside.
On the backside, yes.
I was thinking.
No.
We don't have to put the major volume of traffic is on Sullivan. Yes, we could.
I was just, curious why we were, doing this now, because I would think with the police station right there, not too many people are going 30 miles an hour faster down that road.
You'd be surprised. Did you have a second question?
No, that was.
Now, on the other side of the school, you're all set, right? You have the pole that you need. It's just that one side by the way.
There actually is a sign there now. The school zone will be pretty much right at that sign.
Okay.
Chris,
Yes.
is this all being done, no charge to the town, or how is this working out? Okay.
So, if there's no other questions, I would accept a motion to let the light department move the school zone sign from Patriots Road to South Road and install that pole where he's asking to have it installed.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. Julie?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
And Pat?
Yes.
Now, do we have to wait till 7:15 for the other hearing?
Yes, you do. You also need a motion to close this
Okay,
hearing.
yeah, I'll take a motion to close this hearing on the South Road pole.
So moved.
Second.
Jeff?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
And Julie?
Yes.
All right, so we'll have you back in 10 minutes for the other ones. In the meantime, we can do something else here. If you want to do this?
Yeah, has everyone had a chance to read it?
Yeah, Pat and Jeff have read it. If you recall, at our last meeting, we gave Mr. Ritter the authority to try to find an accountant to close out our fiscal year 12 books. He has found somebody. We have a service contract, a service agreement here. We are reading it, and we will vote on it. It's from Carol Coppola and Associates, They have agreed to come in and close our books with a maximum of 80 hours, anticipated maximum of 80 hours. For their staff accountant, they will charge $75 an hour. For their CPA, they will charge $125 an hour. And it's a question of who's going to be doing most of the work, but
Mr. Chairman,
yes,
a few points of information for
yes.
the audience. This contract really has three components to it. One is to close the fiscal 12 books. One is to assist with opening and properly creating the fiscal 13 books and putting the money into the proper accounts. And the third piece is to be available on retainer for those incidental required CPA certified issues and concerns that we have.
Okay.
So all of that is within the context of the 80 hours. It's my personal belief, it's only a belief, not a fact or established, that it'll take them maybe 30 to 40 hours to close and open the books, leaving a reserve of about 40 hours
For the year.
to draw on.
Oh, okay. My mistake. So,
They also come personally recommended by the existing auditor, Mellons and Heath. That's how I was contacted, how I contacted this firm.
okay. Anybody have questions? Go ahead.
I guess my only question would be is if we're going to have our own accountant there, why would we want to pay $75 an hour to have their accountant come in and do something?
Until we have our own accountant is really the answer. As soon as we have our own accountant, this is a not to exceed 80 hours. As soon as we have our own accountant, we really don't need them except, with due respect, come and sprinkle holy water on it to make sure that what we do and our accountant who's not a CPA. And how much does that require? I submit maybe coming in 2 hours a month to just look over the books and make sure that the accountant is doing the right thing, or to assist the accountant in creating a report or file.
So their accountant won't be just checking up on our accountant?
No, they would be doing those things that CPAs need to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it's not all the CPA, they've given
Right.
two
They have an accountant as well as a CPA.
Right.
The accountant is to help us close and open the books at a lower rate than having a CPA close
Okay.
and open the
Right.
books. Let's get us over the hurdle that's in front of us.
I'll make a motion to enter into a professional services agreement for accounting services and CPA services with Carol Coppola and Associates not to exceed 80 hours.
Second.
The chairman to sign.
With the chairman to sign.
Second.
Any other discussion? Seeing none. Pat?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
And Julie?
Yes.
So what is quick on here? Anything? Alan's not here yet.
Nothing is fast enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
sewer department vehicle?
Oh, sure. We can do that one. Quick, number 8. Is there somebody here from the sewer department?
Kirk's here.
Smart. Nice truck.
Hi, here's Machete, he's halfway there.
He's in the business.
Want me to just read the letter?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. We have a letter here from the sewer department. This email is to inform you that on July 16th, 2012, the sewer commissioners voted unanimously to loan a sewer department vehicle car to the town to allow the town employees at the town hall to complete their duties, knowing that budget cuts involve any town travel and the commissioners would like to help out with this issue. The sewer department vehicle will be on loan to the town for town hall business until such time that the sewer department needs it. And then it just says, please have Jeff Ritter contact Ken Sander for final details. So,
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
if I may, I think it's a very generous gesture of the sewer department. I think the board should attend to that generous gesture. The arrangement that we have is that they retain title to this vehicle, that the town and the maintenance mechanic that we have in highway will do routine servicing of this vehicle. It will be under our care and custody. We will manage it at town hall and gas and oil the car, but it is their property and retains it. We'd just like to say thank you for showing some team spirit here. This is the kind of thing that Templeton needs more of.
Yes?
How will that affect the insurance?
It
Will the
shouldn't.
sewer department cover it, or will the...
It's town insurance.
It's insured by the town one way or the other, so it doesn't affect the insurance policy at all, actually. Because the town general budget pays the insurance policy on all the vehicles in the town.
Any other discussion from the board? I will take a motion to accept the sewer department's generosity on letting us loan this vehicle.
So moved.
Second.
Jeff made the motion and Pat seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Julie?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
And Pat?
Yes.
All right. We still have 4 minutes.
What about the 845? That's just accepting a regulation.
Yeah, it's accepting of state regulation. It's a local option.
You want to do that?
Sure.
Attachment 10.
Yeah, this is the, on your, if you have an agenda in front of you, it's the 845 item, discuss or accept local option for remote participation in meetings of public bodies through adoption of regulations contained in 940 CMR 29.10 of the Attorney General's office. I was reading through this today, and this is, basically, it's not to get you out of going to the meetings. It's if you're sick or for whatever reason, if you have an emergency that you cannot get to the meeting but want to participate in the meeting, you can do it either through a phone participation or a video, if we have the ability to do that. It can be either or. They do not want, the Attorney General's office, if I read this right, does not want it to be a regular occurrence. It's just for, emergency situations. We can choose to accept it or not accept it as a town. So I'll take discussion. We have 3 minutes.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Just for the audience, the reasons given in the open meeting law to use this is for personal illness, personal disability, an emergency, military service, or geographic distance. And a couple of examples, when Chris was up in Maine, he drove all the way back. There was a couple of occasions when I was drilling that I could possibly have done this. Anybody who was sick or anybody else that's on vacation or away and can't get to the meeting. It's not a way to do it regularly, but if some of these things come up and we're voting on something that requires, or would be better to have all members participate, this is a way to do it.
And this would be, if we accept this would be any board in town. It would not just be the select board. So.
I would add it's almost an on-off switch. If you vote to accept it tonight, the switch is on for all boards and committees, elected and appointed. And at a later time and date, by vote of the Board of Selectmen, you can turn the switch off, and it is not on. And you can turn the switch back on by vote of this board. Also, just an additional piece of information, insight that I have, some board and town department heads go to Florida in the winter. And This might prove useful if you wanted to take a 2-month vacation in the middle of the winter, and were otherwise going to miss a meeting or two, to give the flexibility to attend those meetings while you are vacationing in the wintertime.
I guess my question would be, do we have to buy equipment in order to do this? Or-
I guess it would depend on how we want to do it. If you do it just by voice, you could just have
A good
phone.
speakerphone
Yeah.
will work. The regulations require that regardless of which you use, whether it's video, Skype, for instance, or telephone, it has to be audible to the entire audience.
Yes.
So you do need some amplification, and I think it's a very good point to raise that if you have a telephone, you may have to have an external microphone that you use to amplify the telephone. If you have video, you better have a screen that can point at the audience so they can see the screen.
But like here, we don't have the mics, so...
We don't have a phone even, so can't get phone service in.
Yes.
I think Will has a question.
Yes, Will.
I foresee this as a possibility of making sure that we're able to get forums from some of the boards here. I mean, that's, to me, that would be the strongest thing that we would look at as a board to make sure that we can get a forum. So this way here, I would envision that if any of my members go on vacation, that this gives them the opportunity to attend that meeting and not end up having to force us to end up stopping meetings because lack of forum.
Yep. Any other discussion? Anybody? Yes, Doug?
I mean, I think it's a good idea. Just like Bill said, forums tend to be a problem because a lot of people work or whatever. But I also see a window here for abuse. So I think if we're going to implement this, we need to have some safeguard in place to ensure that anybody who does participate remotely is meeting the criteria that is required.
Yep.
So either it has to be included in the minutes who it was, why it was,
That's
et cetera, or it has to be previously approved.
I believe they require that anyway.
It is required.
Yeah.
It is required, yeah. Within,
Yes. Oh.
no, within the regulations itself, it says in the minutes, you have to state if someone's participating remotely, who they are, what votes they took.
Whole procedure.
It's all outlined within the CMR, if it's
It
adopted.
also states why.
Yes.
I mean, I'm
Right.
home and I don't want to go to the meeting and I just
No,
want to look at it.
there's only 5 reasons. 5 legitimate
Not
reasons.
documented as to why that person, which of these
You're
5
saying like
reasons
they just tell you that that's it.
Right.
is doing this, I just still think that there's room for abuse.
Not to interrupt, but I think you guys are told me.
Yeah, I know.
All right,
Can you just read the 5 excuses again?
yeah.
I have to do the poll hearing, so we'll have to
We'll
come back to
come
it.
back to this. We come back right to this.
I'll take a motion to open poll hearing for Lord Road.
So moved.
Second.
Pat?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
And Julie?
Yes.
All right. Hi again. All right. I can read this, so it'll be easier, they'll be able to hear me. This letter is Templeton Municipal Light Plant and Verizon Communications request permission to relocate TMLP pole number 1, Verizon pole number 27 on Lord Road, as shown in the attached drawing. This pole is adjacent to 250 Lord Road, which is the property of the Otter River Sportsman's Club. As you know, ORSC is in the process of building a new clubhouse. As you can see from the attached drawing, pole 1 is close to the proposed building location and will be in the way of machinery doing site work and construction. Rather than putting the pole back in its original location when the building is completed, TMLP and Verizon would like to move the pole across the street in line with the rest of the poles on Lord Road. You don't have to explain. Any questions? Are there any, again, have the abutters all been notified of this hearing?
Yeah.
Okay, are there any abutters here that would like to speak? Are there any board members that have questions? Seeing none. I will take a motion to allow Cumberland Municipal Light Plant to move pole 1, Verizon pole 27 across the street.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? Last year.
Who's paying for this one?
Again, it's just them, right? You're just doing it? Yeah. Is Verizon incurring any of the costs? Are they just moving their wires? Or?
Yeah, we have a full agreement with Verizon, it's their joint owners, so yeah.
Okay. Pat?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
And Julie?
Yes.
I'll take a motion to close this poll here.
So moved.
Second.
Julie?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
That worked well.
Okay, let's go back to, okay, Kurt, now you can ask your question. Oh, you want to hear the 5 reasons? Yes, please. Okay. The reasons for doing the remote participation are personal illness, personal disability, emergency, military service, or geographic distance. That is how it's stated in this.
So,
It's not vacation.
that's what I'm saying. The vacation was what everybody used. So, I mean, I would just be, like, I understand what Will's saying, but I also got to side with Doug too as far as abuse, because how do we know we don't have some drunk in his underwear on vacation doing video chat voting on an issue? I mean, it's, that's what I could put it, but I mean, that's what works for me. So, I would imagine a fail-safe, but I mean, I would recommend if we're going to do this, that any action taken by that vote of the absentee shouldn't be enacted until the reading of the minutes or the acceptance of the minutes from that meeting, because it does have serious consequences if somebody's just voting from their lounge chair somewhere. Just concerned me, that's all.
Yes, sir.
Is there a definition for geographic location? Because I could say, hey, I'm at the Cayman Islands.
I was actually looking
Well,
back.
handle all of that right?
I don't know if it actually...
Defines it.
Become the books.
Person chairing the meeting gets to say what it is.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, the person chairing the meeting determines what or more of it.
Okay. Okay, here's what it says. Permissible reasons for remote participation. If remote participation has been adopted in accordance with 940 CMR 29.10 subsection 2, a member of the public body shall be permitted to participate remotely in a meeting in accordance with the procedures described in 940 CMR 29.10.7. If the chair of, or in the chair's absence, the person chairing the meeting determines that one or more of the following factors make the member's physical attendance unreasonably difficult. So again, the geographic distance, you know, and he would fall under the military with what the result, you know, he gave for himself. It doesn't say anything about vacation, not vacation. It's going to be up to the chair. If the chair feels that the person is, doesn't sound like he's of sound mind at the time, and he can say, you can't participate.
And when you look at section 7, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When you look at section 7, it outlines the procedures, if you've adopted remote participation, and there are certain things that have, criteria that have to be met. So, in my opinion, I think it's something that, you know, it's worth exploring. It's going to be up to everyone to make sure that meetings are, and the chair is doing what they're supposed to do. If there is a person participating remotely, whether it's selectmen, conservation, planning, you know, I think it can be useful to help the town move forward and get some business done. That's-
There's one other thing in here too that it says, All votes, if you have somebody participating remotely, must be roll call votes. It can't just be, all in favor. It's got to be a roll call vote. And then it also says if it's an executive session, the participating member must state at the start of any session that no other person is present and or able to hear the discussion at the remote location. So it's kind of a trust thing too there. So.
But it's still the discretion of the chairperson.
Yep. It's always at the discretion of who's chairing the meeting. Yes, Will?
Mr. Chairman, I've looked at that particular one, and I know that a number of communities have adopted this, as I said earlier, to make sure that they can end up ensuring that they have a quorum. And it seems to be pretty well encompassing as to what the requirements are, especially when you just mentioned about executive session. I was quite concerned about that, because I read that and said, okay, that would cover that particular issue.
Yep. Okay.
The other.
Yes, Bob?
Is there any safeguard clause in there that says that somebody cannot participate while they're incarcerated? So if somebody ends up in jail.
No, that's not mentioned, Bob. Yeah, that's enough. Virginia?
I forgot what I was going to say, so. Oh, no, go ahead.
All right. Any other discussion? And quiet, please. So I will take a motion one way or the other, whoever would like to make one, to adopt it or not adopt it at this
I'll
time.
make a motion to adopt remote participation at public meetings, the provisions of 940 CMR 29.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion before we vote? Seeing none. Patrick?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
And Julie?
Yes.
Okay, now we can get back to the top of the list. We're at 7:30. Discuss the Templeton Elementary School Building Committee appointments. We can, I've had calls from people that are currently on the board, and I think Jeff also had some, that people were concerned about cutting the board down to 9 people. I don't know if you folks have had anybody contact you about it. The 2 people that called me both thought that 9 was too low a number. And again, I don't know if anybody's contacted any of you, and if you have any feelings on this.
The number 9 is not a magic number. It's looking at the best knowledge and historical perspective of the facilities manager, Mr. Clayball, who's run many of these projects. There's no magic to that number.
Right.
He just thinks a smaller number on any committee means the committee can move more quickly and be effective.
Right.
So
And
no magic to the number.
looking through what I brought up, what I wrote out, I have 3 members that are ex officio, so they shouldn't count in the number we're getting to for the voting number anyway.
All right.
So-
Who do you have for ex officio?
Mr. Ritter,
Yeah.
somebody from the advisory board, and Sue Clark, I think her name is?
Diane.
Diane Clark, sorry.
Okay. I didn't have advisory board, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
Just for clarification, from the advisory board, it's the liaison non-voting. He's basically there to take it and bring it back information.
okay. It's still a non-voting seat, that's all.
That's correct.
That's what I was bringing up at this.
So what,
Huh?
I'm sorry, who was the third person? You said Mr. Ritter?
advisory board
Advisory board.
and Diane Clark.
Diane Clark.
There you go. You call her. What is her title?
Recording secretary or something.
Yeah.
She works for the school department.
She does the minutes, and she's an SBC member who is MCPPO certified. She's a non-voting member, she just takes all the minutes.